So we're talking about Pinterest today. Valerie, you said you're on Pinterest. Dennis, are you on Pinterest as well? Okay, so everyone has an account already. Do you guys have business accounts or you have personal?
Business.
Okay, so you can upgrade your personal account to business if you're doing it for business. If you're doing it for personal uses, then by far means keep it as a personal, but a lot of people, if you're doing it for your business, I recommend upgrading to a business account. So it's business.pinterest.com. And here is where you can convert your account to a business account. Some reasons why to do this, why it would be good to upgrade to a business account. If people go to your page, they're going to see your website right here, and once your website's verified, there's going to be a link back to your website, which is really, really good. Pinterest is fabulous, wonderful. In the end, you're going to probably want to get people back to your website, and so having your website verified is one way to do it. So this is for my blog, Swedish Freak.
Yeah.
And so you can see, basic with any social media network, basic rule of thumb, fill out your entire profile. There's a reason why they have a lot of the stuff there. So this is like my picture, the logo, the name of the profile. This is the about section. This is my website, and this is where I'm located on Twitter because I connected it to my Twitter account. So my location is I wish I was in Sweden. So number one is when you're on Pinterest, make sure you have everything filled out because there's nothing worse than having, a business website that's missing maybe their logo or they don't have anything about it, So fill out everything you can. You can go to edit profile and, it's pretty basic. So you can see the about section. You can see I wish I was in Sweden, which they pulled from Twitter, my account. And you can log in with Facebook and Twitter if you want. I have mine connected.
What's the advantage of doing? I always get that lately too. You can log in with this or that.
The advantage is, well, they like it because they can connect with they can find out more about you, basically, through connecting. It's easy for you because you just hit a button and connect. So I use my Twitter login and my Twitter password. The reason why I did it is Pinterest, when I signed up, you had to do it through Twitter or Facebook, so I chose one. Now you can have a separate login. I have a separate login for Digest, so it just depends. You'll see the option, like I have the ability to tweet one of my pins, and the benefit of that is people who know me on Twitter, if they're on Pinterest, they'll see that I'm on Pinterest and they'll come and start following me, and so you start grouping all your people together. So that's sort of the benefit of having it connected if you want it. It just depends on personal preference. So too, I don't put everything on Twitter that I put on Pinterest because there's no need. Like, people are on Twitter for a reason. They're on Pinterest for a reason. I do it once in a while if I see something really cool because I think maybe people on Twitter will like it, and then if they are on Pinterest and they see I am, they'll follow me. If that makes sense. So, and then business type, they have a bunch of different business types. You can be a public figure. Media would be the magazine. You can be a brand, a retailer, online marketplace, an online shop, a local business. I'm a blogger in this one, so just professional. So it's pretty self-explanatory, the setup, and we won't go too much into that. I more want to talk about how to use Pinterest because that's important. And I want to show you, so I was just looking, I joined Pinterest, I started to really be active in Pinterest probably 3 to 4 weeks ago. And as I was saying to Valerie, I simply take 5 minutes a day to be interactive. And once you figure out how to be interactive, it's really easy. When you don't, the first time I was doing it, I was spending 5 minutes and I wasn't going anywhere. And now I understand how to be interactive. So there's a couple of things. So we have breakdown boards, pins, and likes. So boards are your own, and these are my boards, and I set them up. So I've organized my boards into different things I like. I have food, Swedish food, that's a big popular section on my website. Culture, I found tons of pins about culture. The language, products, I've included my products and other people's products because we do have a shop, and then travel, and it's just different things, whatever is inspiring to me for my blog. And you could have as many or as few as you want. The more you have, the better. The more interest, and the more specific you have it, the better too. I could have a board that just says Sweden and put all this stuff in there, but maybe not everyone wants all of it in there. Maybe they just want food.
So I can double click on one of those?
So this is my board. So this is like in the back end. So this is like a lot of people use Pinterest for gathering ideas. Like my roommate was using Pinterest for decorating. So she had a board called Interior Design, which she used to decorate our apartment. So she pinned a bunch of stuff, and then she'd go back on the board and she'd look at it, what she pinned and what she liked, and was like, okay, yeah, this, and follow the website. So it's almost like this fancy bookmarking of how they use it. Wedding planners are using it a lot. So now they send people, here's a board. They have private boards, so they share it with them, and they're like, this is what I have an idea for your wedding. What do you think of these pictures? Do you want to go for that? That sort of thing. So
What's this replacing? Is Pinterest replacing something?
not really. There was nothing there before. Pinterest is replacing bookmarking a bunch of websites and saving them and then sending links to your friends, and they're putting it differently. So I don't think it's going to replace Facebook. I think it's filling something that wasn't there before. And a lot of it is just image friendly. Now, one thing's really smart to do, if you notice I have prices here up in the corner. So they highly recommend that if you have a product that's for sale somewhere, and I don't know if this applies to anyone, if you put the price in the description, it will show up on the side right here. And people love that. I know, like, sometimes we hide prices from customers. They love it. It's right there. $20 for some farmer cheese. $15 for some jam on Amazon. So they know immediately how much it costs. A lot of women are using this for shopping as well, and then they see the prices right there. So that's
good for what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big key. Yeah, put your prices out there.
Online marketplace. Okay.
Yeah. So I try to blend it in. But yeah, the prices is a big one. A link back to your site or a link to wherever they can purchase the product is big. So this is an example of what I wrote. I put this up. Lingonberry Silt is jam. 50. I put the price, great with meatballs, and then I put the link, and they can click on it, and it's going to go to Amazon.
Now, will you get money from Amazon?
Yes, I do have an affiliate link on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Is it an affiliate? I thought about getting an affiliate account for 3 or 4 years with Amazon. They also have they changed their terminology? I was just looking at the other day. Do they call it?
They call it associate.
Is that the same thing?
It's the same thing. It's just a fancy word for it. But in the
It's
industry, it's
in the
affiliate.
firm,
Yeah.
So if you quote them or link them and somebody buys from your Pinterest or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
I get a percentage of it,
I
of
see.
whatever they purchase. So,
Gosh, this is so amazing.
yeah.
Would it also? How would you work it out? I don't want
No,
to digress too much, but very briefly, what I'm interested in is not only the products I have, but I talk about a healthy outdoor lifestyle. Or right now, for example, I use some indoor exercise equipment, actually a bicycle trainer that I really like. If I found that on Amazon and I want to, that's almost like affiliate marketing. I say I don't intend to sell it directly. If I make an arrangement so I get a commission, a cut,
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, it works the
for that
same
too.
way. Amazon, depending on the product, Amazon gives about 2 to I think 6%. It depends on what product it is. That's quite low for affiliate marketing. If you're interested in affiliate marketing, I recommend checking out Commission Junction.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, .com. They don't have the best customer service. They're actually pretty awful when it comes to customer service, but the companies that are on there are good companies. So I always end up signing up, and then you get a bigger percentage in the end. It's
Thank you.
if your product is on there, Commission
What's that
Junction.
called?
It's
Commission Junction?
yeah, you can just cj.com is their website.
Excellent.
Yeah? So, okay, back to Pinterest. Now we have a little
No, sorry.
No, you're good.
Off track.
And what I didn't catch, media? Are you media?
Or professional?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And then what's your business? The
Well,
outdoor?
I do health products, nutritional supplements,
Okay.
and I also have media. I have a journalism background,
Okay.
so I do. So I have done some freelance writing. And
I
someday
do
there's a
writing.
book in me,
Books.
but I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how did you so going through the very, very basics, just so we have it and everyone's clear, how to pin. So you can install this little pin bar right here. And so if I'm on Swedish Freak, I just wrote this article I don't think I've pinned it because the picture isn't pretty, but I'll pin it anyways. So I wrote this article about how using free dating sites in Swedish can help you practice your Swedish. It's actually really highly recommended. Yeah, you just dive right into the language. So I wrote this article about a free website that you can do. So to pin it, if you find something, usually you want a pretty picture. This picture is really boring, but for an example, to pin it, I just hit this pin button, and then it asks me what I want to pin. I've pinned these other pictures. These other 3 pictures here are already older blog posts down below, so I'll pin this one. So it comes up like this, and you have your boards here, different boards, and you can create a new board if you want to. I'm going to put this under Swedish culture. And then here is where you describe what it is. Now this is where you can put the price. So if I put, $19.95, it's going to show up there. Obviously this article has nothing to do with pricing, so we won't. But then you put a description, a free dating site for practicing Swedish. Now they recommend having a call to action here.
Yeah.
So read the full article. Check out this site. Click here and find out more. Download this recipe now. Tell them what you want them to do. People love direction. So I'm going to put here, read the full article to find out more. And hopefully they'll read the full article to find out more about it.
Now, to get the article, do they have a place for browsing and uploading a Word document?
No. So how it works is if we post it. Now, one thing another thing that they recommend, and this doesn't have to find the direct link, but link back to it so it's there. And then
How did you just do that?
I just copied and pasted I went
Okay.
Control Copy,
Oh,
and then
okay,
I just
I got
pasted it in there.
Okay.
So now they have a link to it, and it's like read the full article, find out more. The link is there. And so when we pin it, and I'm not going to put this on Twitter because they've already seen it, so I can go to see your pin.
So the link is your website?
Yeah. And so now they have 2 options. So it's like read the full article. They can click here and read the full article. And if they click the image, it goes to the website as well.
Cool.
So either or, whether they click the image, but giving them that link lets them know that the image is connected to a website, and giving them that call to action gets them to actually do something.
Do you have an individual website for that article? Or is
Yeah. This one I linked to the home page on the picture, but if right here is the so I probably should have pinned it from this direct page so the picture's connected to this link. Does that make sense? So that's how you pull people back to your website, And when I pin from other people, I mix it up, and then when I have an article, I throw it in there, and then people, they know it's not just self-promotion. I'm actually finding things from across Sweden, other pictures, and I'm helping other people. So when I help other people, they're more likely to help me out too, and we're all kind of just sharing in this big community. So, now how
And
do...
back to that pin bar is first thing I thought of, like if you have a WordPress blog, it's similar to Press This. It's somewhere on there, and it works with most browsers. It just drag it up somewhere on the bar.
And you can do, so if I had add right here, add a pin, upload a pin, or create a board. So if I want to add a pin, you can just put the URL there if you don't have it on your... Pinterest will prompt you to go on this, to download this. It's like you bookmark this JavaScript thing that makes it pop up.
Okay.
But you can add them manually too, like this.
Okay.
So now we kind of know how to pin our own stuff. A little bit about the board. What I had trouble with when I started was connecting with people. Like because I can pin as much boards as I want to, but how do I connect with people? And so when I first started, I kind of did it like Facebook and Twitter, where I just started following people. Follow. And I followed all these people, and then when I came to my home page, it just didn't have any relevance to Sweden at all. There was nothing about it. It was just random stuff, and I'm like, what? How do I find cool Swedish stuff? I was very confused. So the first tip I learned is don't follow people, follow boards. because the boards are going to be more specific. So I don't follow people anymore because they have boards ranging from cooking to fashion to travel to other countries, and I just want Sweden, so I only follow boards. And unless someone's very specific like me and all their boards are about Sweden, I won't follow them. Because when you follow them, you follow all the boards. So I follow boards, and one way you can find boards is in the search. So a lot of times I will go and I'll search for I'll just search for Sweden because that's my top one. And then it goes to pins automatically. And this is where I made my first mistake because I'd be like, oh, 44 Fashion Street, they do something Swedish. And so I would follow all of 44 Fashion Street when only their little board was Swedish. So instead I follow, and I'm going to like this because that's really cool. Okay, instead I follow boards. And so you just click boards up there, and now the boards come up. And so this helped me start to get really interesting content on my homepage. So now when I go to my homepage, everything's there already. I don't need to really search too much for it. But this is a good way to search for boards. And you can see there's more and more boards. All these boards are just about Sweden, and it seems like there's more and more. And you just hit follow.
You follow them?
Mm-hmm. I follow them, and what that means, these are all Swedish related. What that means is when I log into Pinterest, those boards I just follow are all going to show up here on this homepage when they do a pin. So you can see while we were sitting here, I did the happy pancake pin, and then I did this was something I saw on my board, and I thought it was really pretty, and so I did that one. So that's one way to connect with people, is to follow the boards and not the people. I know it's counterintuitive, but then you get more specific. The second way is to repin, like, and comment on what they're talking about. So I do a lot of repins just because it's so easy. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just absolutely gorgeous.
So when you repin, does that mean it goes to your tweet?
It goes to my board. It only connects to Twitter if I want it to. So like for this, here, this is Swedish culture. The Samish are the native people of Scandinavia, and that's their kind of land. They own all the reindeer, so they're quite big in Sweden. So when I see something like this, I'll just repin it. And if I want to put it on Twitter, I'll click that. If not, I won't. But sometimes I don't add to this description. I just repin
If
it.
it's already on your boards, why would you do
This is not on my board. This is on people's boards I follow. So it's not on my boards until it's, yeah. And so right now it's not on my board, but as soon as I pin it, it'll be on my board. And so this is how I save. So if I go to boards, there it is. See, now it's on my Swedish culture board.
Okay.
And when you repin it, people see that. They get a notification in the mail, in their email, so-and-so repinned your post, and so yeah, and they see it, and so they see, your name starts to stand out. Oh, Swedish freak, repin my
Yeah. Somebody thinks like me.
Yeah, and it's, liking it too is a really good way of just, sometimes I like something and it doesn't really, I just don't want to pin it for whatever reason. I just don't, and so I like it because I'm like, hey, this is cool. Or I leave a comment. I'm like, this is an awesome picture. Where did you get it? Start having a conversation with them. Pinterest is weird. I think Pinterest is the most unsocial social media network we've come across so far, because a lot of it's about, everyone's about their own boards and finding what they want and repinning. So the reach out is not as much. But as you start building your boards and people start following you and know you post really interesting stuff, then when you throw in your own things in there, they're going to be more keen on sharing it because you're constantly having content. So, as you constantly share things and constantly find new things, they're just going to be more interested. You're going to keep your interest in it. It's going to stand out. And then when you post something, pin something that's yours, they're going to be more likely to click on it. I was actually wondering, so I started Pinterest, let's say a month ago, 3 weeks, a month ago, starting to be active. So I was like, okay, let's see what traffic Pinterest is bringing. So I pulled up Google Analytics traffic report. It's not quite there yet. You can see Facebook. I just reached 1,000 fans on Swedish Freak for our Facebook fan page. So we get about 281 people coming a month from Facebook. So Facebook, that's a lot of work though. I've been on Facebook almost 2 years, so I finally got my 1,000 fans. T.co, this one right here, that's Twitter. So I get about 141. And this is Facebook mobile, so 95. So I'm really curious. I'm like, okay, where's Pinterest? Because I've been on Facebook and Twitter since, for a long time. So I searched, and I was actually pretty surprised on it. I've gotten 52 visits from Pinterest.
Just
So-
a month.
Yeah, in just a month of being active on it and finding people. So people are coming to the site. They're staying not as long as my usual visitors. Usually they stay about 2 minutes. They stay in a little bit less time, but it's 88% new visits. So
you're using Google Analytics to
Yeah.
yeah. And what do you have to do anything for code or anything to
you have WordPress?
Yeah.
It's called Ultimate Analytics. It's a plugin, but all you do is need a little snippet of code that Google gives you. They'll show you how to do it, but I use the Ultimate Google Analytics plugin.
Okay.
And I highly recommend it because it's free. You can set up automatic emails, all that jazz. So Pinterest does bring traffic, so that's exciting for being so new on there and not really you can see some of my boards are still quite bare. They're just kind of, like this, the contest is empty. I started winter in Sweden because I was cold. People were posting pictures of winter in Sweden. So yeah, so it's been pretty, I'm pretty happy with it. 50, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even look at it because I get so much from Facebook and Google. I mean, you saw I get upon thousands.
And totally different. Does LinkedIn have any relevance to what you're doing to Pinterest? I'm big on that.
Not really.
Okay.
I do like all of them. They were. I was just listening to Guy Kawasaki, who's really big in my industry, online marketing, and he was giving a speech, and he was just saying every social network has its own sort of thing, and LinkedIn, a lot of people are more using it for. He called it pimping, but he meant like when you need a job and you start putting out there like I need a job anywhere, where am I going, and start connecting with people, and then when you're okay, I was surprised actually LinkedIn wasn't talked about. I just came back from Las Vegas at the New Media Expo, which was basically a bunch of bloggers and people in my industry, and I was really surprised Pinterest wasn't discussed that much. LinkedIn wasn't discussed that much. It was a lot of Facebook. Everyone was on Twitter, so I had to get my Twitter stuff straightened out. And then the main themes were video and podcasting. Those were like the big ones. The reason why it's so famous is because it gained so much traction so quickly. If you look at it compared to the other social media networks, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, they all have more users than Pinterest users. But what they're finding is people on Pinterest spend more money online and they buy more often. And so a lot of people are really just diving in. Like I said, a lot of women are using it for shopping, and they'll go shopping and pin all the dresses they want and see the prices, and then they'll go out and try it on. So it's way more shopping oriented, and people, they're just buying more. Facebook is more, I think, for friends and people you've already met and you connect with. You're not interested in shopping. That's not your number one priority. Twitter is a lot for reaching out to new people that you don't know. Again, not really shopping oriented. It's text. You have 140 characters you can write. So this is all about images. This is all window shopping from your home. And I think that's how a lot of people are viewing it. Window shopping, food shopping. So trying to think what else I could go over. Fill out your profile, right? That's a big one. Follow boards, not people, to get more specific. Repin other people's things. Oh, let's talk about infographics. I'm actually going to sign out and sign in to Digest Online Marketing. Basically it's endless range marketing, but online. It's where we teach small businesses basically all of this. And Digest is interesting because it's this online marketing field. So Digest, a big one that you can see all of our pins are going to be infographics. And so I want to talk about infographics a little bit. So infographics are these data images where basically people take a bunch of data that they have that they find really interesting and they put it into an infographic and make it really beautiful. And these are the ones that have been going quite viral. We're going to make one for Sweden just because it hasn't been done yet. But here's an example of one I love, because Digest Online Marketing, we're all about making online marketing digestible and like food oriented. And so when I found this recipe for SEO, I was like, oh, this is so great. I love this. So you can see, like, they basically take information that you would find on a blog post or on a website, and they make it graphically gorgeous, and then people read it. One thing I learned is that the longer your infographic, the more clicks it gets for some reason. And part of it is that it will stand out on, so if we go to my homepage, let's see if we can find out my homepage. So you can see I have a lot of small boards. Let's see if we have an infographic
So a
standout.
lot of people have a lot of boards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons and tons. And I'm just building mine. So I have a lot of food stuff because
I get lost with my friends. I mean, I've made boards from what my friends do, but that doesn't have any relevance for me.
yeah. So and you're following all your friends, right? So it's about unfollowing them. I know, and it's a pity because you do want to see what your friends are doing, but at the same time, you need relevant stuff. So here's a great example. So you see how short these all are? It's like, you know, these little squares. And now you come down, and all of a sudden, this one infographic just takes over, and you know, and then it makes people want to click because they just see it over and over
So
again.
if I go to your Pinterest board, I can find this.
Yeah. And so, well, I'm going to repin it now, and this is how to create a winning mem. So we'll just say we'll say it's online marketing, and I'll tweet it too. Why not?
I am going to follow you.
Yeah. So Digest Online Marketing, check Digest Online Marketing is our new website where we're setting up free courses like that. I'm probably going to upload the recording if it's good enough and offer it for free. And then we do offer some paid stuff, but we're working on the free stuff right now. And all of it is about getting small businesses online and figuring out just the basics. Because a lot of the courses I've come across, or a lot of the online marketing stuff, it's just like there's no beginner. It's just immediate advance, immediate high-end, and I'm like, you know, people need to know how to set up Google Analytics. You know who do I follow on Pinterest? That was a big one. Once I figured out it was boards, it made so much more sense to me. Everything that I came onto when I logged in, I was like, oh, this is cool, and it literally took me 5 minutes to start repinning and pin some stuff. Every time I do a blog post, I pin it. And then I was saying to Valerie, I try to take 5 minutes a day and just take 5 minutes, go on, see what's going on, repin a few things, make a comment, and that's it. And then I'm done.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be a valuable topic even in your course? I'm not somebody who wants to spend all day in front of a screen on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you decide how much time and get a strategy to maximize it?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever the time
That's
you got.
pretty much it. Yeah, a lot of the social media is the most dangerous one, just because I think a lot of people like Facebook, they'll get stuck on there and they're like, I spend hours and hours a week, and I'm like, don't spend hours and hours a week. I do my posts in the morning. That's the first thing I do. I wake up because Sweden is when I wake up, it's about the end of the day in Sweden. So I do my blog. I do a post on Facebook immediately every morning, and that's it. And then if I happen to go on there and see something, I'll do it. But otherwise, I don't worry about it. I know it's done. And literally, I take 5 minutes a day to do my social media stuff. And I plan out, you know, because I run I have Swedish Freak, we have Digest Online Marketing, I have Dirty Motorcycle Adventures, I have Easy Website Optimizer we're working on, and that's a lot of websites, and all of them can be full-time jobs. Online marketing's endless. You can just spend forever on it. So I try to break it down and make sure I get stuff done, but not be overwhelmed by it.
Do you attract bloggers to your Pinterest?
So tracking them back, or what do you mean?
Well, do bloggers come look at your boards?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what the board is. For the digest, that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for people who are in the
So these are bloggers.
Yeah, bloggers, people in the industry. For Swedish Freak, I mean, sometimes bloggers come in and out, but mostly it's people who love Sweden, and that's the main thing. I mean, you do build relationships with other bloggers for promotion and that sort of thing, but it just depends on what your target market is, if that makes sense.
And Google Analytics tracks these.
Google Analytics, yes. I highly recommend Google Analytics. It tracks everything. So not everything, but most of it. So I can see how many people are visiting my site. I can compare it to the past. So if I'm looking at last month compared to this month, and so I can see, okay, I have 15% drop. I need to get it up. That's not good. But Christmas is quite big. So you can see where people are coming from. I know I was at the conference, I was looking at the demographics where people were located. So, because I have a lot of people, most of them are U.S., but then I have a huge chunk in Sweden too. They're my second top country that comes to my site. So I need to know who, I'm targeting. But I knew that. I knew it was U.S., Sweden, and then U.K., Canada are big.
Valerie, I should have asked earlier too. If you have, I have a couple of WordPress blogs
Yeah.
for varying purposes. Can you associate? And I have a business Pinterest account. I'm not sure I want.
Yeah.
Do you want? Is there any reason to have both of them tied to one Pinterest account, or does that get to be a mess?
I try to keep everything separate. So but my things don't coincide at all. I have Sweden, motorcycles, and online marketing. It just doesn't mix. So it depends if you want to mix it, but a lot of it's branding. I mean, Swedish Freak is a great brand name because it stands out. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But you definitely, could go the route where you just have one Pinterest account connected to both. If both of your blogs are about health, and throw it under there.
They are, but I'll have to think. There's nothing against having. Can you have? This is where it always gets fun with Google and everything else. Pretty soon, that's why I have more Gmail addresses than I can handle sometimes, because you start setting something else up and it says, you've already used that email address.
Well, the thing is you won't be able to have two websites here in your profile.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to have two websites here.
Okay.
So you can use.
So you're only going to be able to have one.
So one email address.
No. It's two separate. But for email addresses, if you get overwhelmed, a lot of it is you can set up forwarding. So that's what my business partner does. Is he sets up forwarding. But if you wanted, if I wanted two, if I want endless and digest, I could only pick one to go right here. So if if we're fading out endless range marketing slowly, while it's still going to be our LLC name, Digest is our new one, and so it's like that would fit for me because it is the same thing. I can put it underneath, but Digest is what I really want to promote, so it's kind of more transparent.
But there's nothing to prevent you, if you work out these other things, from setting up a separate Pinterest business profile account or something, saying I'm going to be some other variation.
Yeah, no.
They don't have some controls in there that say, by your IP or something.
By email, I mean, usually it is one email per one account, so that's going to be, but there's nothing stopping you from setting it up to multiple. They've opened it up to businesses.
So these are all pins you've made to all these different topics. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So I can see all of them, I can see my likes. Yeah, but these are all, and so the nice thing is about that is the reason why I separated them out. Let's say you're just interested, Valerie, in social media and you don't really care about email marketing or SEO, then you can follow that one board where I'm just repinning about social media. So it makes it, like food. I have a food one because our thing is we're trying to make online marketing digestible and easy to chew and all that stuff. So we incorporate food every once in a while into our things. And so I have a board that's just recipes that I find that has nothing to do with online marketing. Not everyone's going to want to follow that, and maybe some people will like our recipes and want to follow that specific board. So that's the boards. Secret boards are new, and it just depends how you want to use them. A lot of wedding planners are using them with their clients because, brides don't want their wedding plans to be completely public until after the wedding. You always worry about people calling. So you can share it with one other person and it's not public. So you can either share ideas or maybe do a mastermind course, or if you just want an amazing, awesome, top secret board. But these are the new things, and you can create a secret board and share it with other users on Pinterest, and then you can make it public later if you so choose. So this is a new, they recently launched this, secret boards. So let's look at, let's see who.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, of course.
Something I wrote a blog and I pinned it.
Yeah.
So where do you pick one place to write your blog from?
Well, I write my blog on my website, so I have my
Yeah,
blog
right.
post on my
Okay.
website, and then I can either go here and add the pin manually, but I've installed this little doohickey right here, which Pinterest will prompt you to install it if they haven't already, and then I hit that, and then it'll let me pin whatever. So it's a JavaScript. So let's pick this. Let's say I want to, and every once in a while, because my site, I don't even know how many pages, I'll pin something old that I haven't, seen before or pinned before. So we've pinned this. Let's take a reindeer. Oh, I can't do reindeer because it's for Swedish Freak. This is where it gets mixed up, because now I have to log out and back in again.
Okay.
But again, so I hit the pin and I pick the reindeer, and then I can put what I need for it to be able to pin it, if that makes sense. Are there any other questions regarding Pinterest?
What I'm wondering about, with all this new stuff, I'm taking this executive course, an 8-week course. In fact, I was going to show you the book because there's a whole section on SEO optimization.
Nice. Yeah, yep, SEO.
But, anyway, I'm something like Pinterest shows up. Is it the techies that go there right away because they are intuitively just into it, like figuring it out, or big companies have IT departments. You have all these different things, and I'm having trouble. And this course is really hard that I'm doing, but I love it. And but integrating everything, it's just an assumption that you know this, you know this, you know that, you know this.
Yeah.
And you may know a big portion of certain things, but I'm really surprised over and over. Do people just have to wing it and get in there and?
Part of it is getting in there and devoting the time to it. Part of it is, I think, picking out like when you're ready for it. So Pinterest, Pinterest for Swedish Freak is great for digest online marketing or for like Blue Ocean.
Right. I was thinking Blue Ocean.
It's just not. I would work on Facebook and Twitter, and I always say start with Facebook.
Yeah.
Once you have that going, you feel comfortable with it, then add another one. People want to add them all at once, and it's really overwhelming, especially as you're.
Then you're piecemealing
Yeah.
it. You're
And-
not really
Yeah.
doing a very
What I'm
good
wondering
job.
is, how do you attract bloggers to any of them?
Well, so the reason being on Pinterest is you're going to try to attract the bloggers that are there already. So what's you're trying to get writers to your site or
Well,
bloggers
and,
in general?
on Facebook too, people who are interested in certain themes.
Yeah. So to get them there, one is have it on your page. So on Swedish Freak, we don't have Pinterest here, but having a Pinterest button right here so they know. So that's one way to connect with them. It's about building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way to connect. Facebook, I think, is extremely hard to. It's about interacting with others, and then when people repin so if we're talking Pinterest, interacting with others, and then when someone repins one of my amazing pins that they think their followers would like, and they have a lot of followers, I'm going to start getting more followers. So that's one way to do it, and Facebook's the same way. You get a page to share some content that you share that's wonderful, and they have a lot of followers, and their followers they'll come back to you. So it's interacting with other businesses that are similar to yours that are going to get their